From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Furniture and Mattress 86 is stocked with mattresses. Mattresses starting at $149. Try our 120-night trial. Mattresses come with a 20-year warranty. Up to 72 months, 0 interest. Free local delivery and pickup. Furniture and Mattress 86 on Merchant Avenue across from the post office in Reading. If you find it for less, you should buy it.
It's the Crown Motors 4th of July sales event happening now. Gear up for adventure in a new Nissan Pathfinder or Rogue, where versatile performance meets modern comfort. For a limited time, get 0% financing for 60 months on any new Pathfinder or Rogue in stock through NMAC with simple, hassle-free approval on site. Act now to get this budget-saving offer from Nissan. Visit us on Cypress Avenue or at crownmotorsreading.com.
Good morning, everyone. We're going to go ahead and start and take a look at the fires out there. Some of the bigger fire icons are the fires that are, of course, the ones that we want to take a closer look at. The Horse Fire, for example, that as of yesterday night at 8:48 per Shasta Trinity National Forest, reported it at about 200 acres. We've also got the Green Fire as of about midnight last night, reported at about 15 acres there. We also have the Summit Fire, which a lot of people have been, of course, been talking about here. That's mainly in western Siskiyou County. That's essentially near the Pacific Crest Trail, and that's mainly for the people that hike out there where we have the evacuation orders and the warnings. Otherwise, we take a look at the rest of the area, and no big surprises, no big news here, just a lot of those lightning sparked fires that we are seeing here with those smaller fire icons that you see on the screen there. By the way, if you want to track these fires and any fires that may develop in your area or close to your area, you can always go to weathernorcal.com. You can click on the fire danger section, and it's a one-stop shop with all the information that you need right there at weathernorcal.com. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at those weather headlines. And we got those more isolated, just for some areas, especially out to the north and east, can't seem to shake at least the chance for thunderstorms. But I will tell you this, the activity that we saw on Monday, Tuesday, that's in the past. We're done with that. We're not going to see anything of that magnitude anytime soon. But we still have the chance for an isolated shower, an isolated thunderstorm, especially in Siskiyou, Modoc, and even into northern parts of Lassen County as well. Otherwise, we do have a cooling trend, and that's going to be going into the 4th of July weekend. In particular, the coolest will be tomorrow on the 4th of July, where temperatures in the valley most likely struggling to get out of the 80s. Yes, getting out of the 80s for those daytime highs. Now, next week, I do expect to see temperatures increase again and some bigger heat, especially by the middle and latter part of next week. But really looking at that long range, it's just looking hot and dry. Pretty typical for your summer, right? Here's a look at your Krueger's Quickcast for your Thursday, July 3rd. Heading out the door for this morning, getting off to work here, and many of you getting ready for a 3-day weekend, right? With the 4th of July on Friday. But upper 70s for the valley. Still that fog along the coast. No rain just yet, but I do think we'll see a chance for some activity popping up later this afternoon. Now, we do have an area of low pressure right here. It looks like, oh my gosh, is there going to be another series of storms? Well, it is going to help to destabilize the atmosphere a little bit, but again, we're not looking at anything major as far as showers and thunderstorms are concerned. You'll probably even see a few more clouds for places like the valley, for example. Now, we take a look at this, and you do have a red flag warning, but this has nothing to do with the potential for thunderstorms. It's because of the gusty winds that we're going to see out in that region and very dry conditions, and that's going to elevate that fire weather risk. Now, with that all being said, the severe outlook from the Storm Prediction Center has all the areas in green here at the best chances for thunderstorms. I think it's overdoing it, and it has been really in most cases. Yes, I think that's a possibility, and I think this is a possibility, and right up here in northern Lassen County as well. Otherwise, northeastern Shasta, central southern parts of Lassen County, most likely not seeing any activity today. In fact, I think this paints a pretty decent picture. The best chance for lightning strikes will be mainly in central and eastern parts of Modoc County, maybe extending southward into northern Lassen County. And we may even see a few lightning strikes here in central parts of Siskiyou County as well. Let's take a look at the HRRR forecast here, just as we take you through the rest of the day today. And you can see here those clouds with that area of low pressure kind of moving in. Now, we don't really have any rain at this point. Now, this is not overcast gray skies. A lot of these clouds that you see here are just some high and even a few mid-level clouds. But by this afternoon, we're beginning to see the pop-up showers and thunderstorms beginning to move in. Now, you see it's mainly into eastern parts of Modoc County and making its way into parts of Lassen County as well. But if you look at everywhere else, no more showers, no more thunderstorms. And again, the bulk of it really is just going to be moving to the north and east throughout the afternoon, but we could see some pop-up activity out towards central Siskiyou County as well. And even as we go into tonight, look at this. See some activity here kind of popping up near the Mount Shasta City area. And, you know, you think about last night, for example, where we saw that series of storms kind of pushing through Dunsmuir, Mount Shasta, McLeod. We even saw some thunderstorms out towards the Susanville area yesterday afternoon as well. So we could see kind of another round here possibly in that same area in south central parts of Siskiyou County. But for today, I do expect temperatures to start to drop again. We're talking temperatures in the low to mid 90s, although places like Redding about 97. There's that best chance for thunderstorms, I think, right here, mainly in central and eastern Modoc County. Otherwise, the chances are going to be a bit slimmer pretty much everywhere else. Let's take a look at your 7-day outlook. And again, the temperatures will drop as we go into the next few days. This is not a typo, my friends. We're talking upper 80s for your 4th of July in the valley. We're back in the mid to upper 90s by the weekend, and triple digits will most likely return for many of us in the valley by next week. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast for the coast, inland, and Fort Trinity County. There you have those temperatures generally in the low to mid 60s for the coast. No big surprises there. No rain, no thunderstorms for the inland areas or Trinity County. Taking a look at Siskiyou County, there's that chance today and tomorrow. It's going to be few and far between if you even see anything. Alturas, really Modoc County in general, today and tomorrow. Again, it feels like we just can't shake these thunderstorms, does it? But we will eventually shake those thunderstorms by the time we get into the weekend and warming up going into next week as well. All right, that's a look at Krueger's Quick Cast. Stick around for the deeper dive forecast. We're going to really dive deep into that forecast here as we go into 4th of July, the weekend, into next week. But I do want to just kind of put your attention here to the 24-hour streaming channel. Roku Fire Stick. Of course, you can check it out on there. Now, if it doesn't work, and I've been hearing reports that it has been working so well on Fire TV, always use as a backup the YouTube app. YouTube app is really going to be, quite honestly, if you ask me, your best resource, because not only can you watch the 24-hour streaming channel, but the YouTube app also allows you to, on demand, watch the video forecasts that I upload. So you can check those out as well. Just search for Weather NorCal and subscribe to the YouTube channel while you're at it. That way you can always get the latest information. All right, let's take a look at your fire weather forecast. And, you know, we're going to be looking at this red flag warning again because this is where we have some of those stronger winds working their way into the eastern mountains here. That's going to elevate the fire weather risk. Let's take a look at those winds here as we progress through the afternoon. You see how they're really picking up here. Greens, yellows, even some oranges. You're getting in that 30 mile per hour range or higher. But look at the valley. Look at this. Right? We're seeing some gusty winds there. You may have noticed it yesterday afternoon. I think we're going to see it again here for parts of the valley once again this afternoon as well. Then we go into tonight. Typical, right? Those winds will subside. But look at this again. We may see another red flag warning here for parts of the eastern mountains, even for your Friday, because the thing is, those winds are picking up again. Doesn't look like it'll be quite as bad, though, for the valley. They subside again going into your Saturday morning, and looks like even for Saturday afternoon, the winds, not all that bad. Take a look at the fire weather risk here. The oranges indicating where we're seeing the high fire weather risk here. Nothing unusual, nothing alarming, quite honestly. The numbers are your humidity levels. That's what we got to pay attention to as well. As you can see, we're down into the low teens and mid-teens as well for the valley. Now, because the temperatures are really dropping significantly, humidity levels won't be quite as low for your Friday. We're mainly within that moderate range when we're talking about that fire weather risk here for your Friday. All right, so here's the big picture. Once again, this is an area of low pressure. See that spin right here? That's going to be moving through. We're already seeing some of the clouds pushing through in advance of this. This is going to help to destabilize the atmosphere a little bit and may be responsible for some of the thunderstorms that we do see this afternoon, but mainly in Modoc County. And this right here, this spinning area of low pressure right here, this will be moving through tomorrow, mainly to our north. That will also be responsible, believe it or not, for more chances for thunderstorms. So the Storm Prediction Center, I think, think overdoing it. I don't think we're going to quite see any activity here. Let's take this line right here southward and erase that green as well. It's mainly going to be Modoc, northern Lassen, and I'd say central to eastern parts of Siskiyou County, seeing that best chance. Now, the fire weather outlook, as far as dry lightning strikes, I'd say this is a pretty good representation of where we do have that best chance to see those dry lightning strikes. Overdoing it again, I want to take this line right here, basically the Shasta County line and the Modoc County line to Lassen, erase all of that, and it's mainly going to be here that I think we've got the best chance for thunderstorms for tomorrow. And you'll see that. We'll take a look at Futurecast here and show you that. Let's illustrate that for you here. So there you can see some of the fog we're seeing for the coast this morning. No big surprises. Some clearing, I think, in some areas here for the coast, but we'll call it partly to mostly cloudy skies for the coast. Here it is. By about early afternoon, we start to see the thunderstorms popping up. Look where it's mainly confined. Eastern Modoc into northern portions of Lassen County. Nowhere else are we seeing any showers or thunderstorms. Now, you see this? A little bit of activity popping up in central Siskiyou County, and we could see more popping up as we go into the evening into tonight. You see this right here kind of working its way northward. So it's not out of the question for parts of northern, the mountains of Shasta County working its way into Siskiyou County to maybe see a stray shower or even a thunderstorm going into the overnight hours. But I'd say that by midnight tonight, most of that should be pretty much gone. Now, we take you into your Friday. Friday morning, it's dry. You can see some of the fog along the coast here as we typically see, right? Now, as we go through the afternoon, you see these thunderstorms popping up in central eastern Siskiyou County, working its way into Modoc County. This was that chance it was talking about all the way southward into Shasta and Lassen County. I don't see that happening, but you can see it's mainly for central eastern Siskiyou, Modoc County on Friday that we've got that best chance for those thunderstorms popping up. And then we're done by Friday night. And I think we're finally going to be shaking away from those thunderstorms or shaking that off, right? Because it seems like it's been all week, right? Monday, Tuesday in particular, the really main active days where we saw tons of lightning strikes, severe thunderstorms, big thunderstorms. Anyone who felt them or under them could feel them. I mean, it was just a big deal. But now it's just kind of the nuisance more than anything else because it's not beneficial. Yeah, the rain is nice, but we don't want to see the lightning strikes. All right, so you can see the cooler air that we're dealing with here as we go into today and tomorrow. I really want to use the word mild because this is not like a winter type storm that's going to drop our temperatures down, into the 60s or 70s in the valley. But what it is going to do, especially by the time we get into tomorrow, temperatures mainly in the upper 80s. Yes, upper 80s for the valley for your 4th of July. What an amazing blessing we've been giving here, right? Here with these cooler temperatures going into your Friday. Now, we go into your Saturday. Now, we're going to see some energy break off from this activity up to our north, or should I say these troughs up to our north. And we're going to see kind of a separate area of low pressure develop here. Very weak, not a very big impact. We're breaking away. We're not really looking at a lot of monsoon moisture working its way in. So as a result, this is going to keep our temperatures at bay, but it is going to be warming up. We're going to be, instead of the 80s, more like in the 90s over the weekend into next week. Now this kind of hovers here, at least in early next week, moves on out. The heat over the desert southwest begins to build even stronger through next week. And I'd say that especially by the end of next week, this is going to bring our temperatures back up to about 105, 106, and now even seeing some indication of 107 degrees near the end of next week. So the typical summer heat will return next week, and we're really going to feel it by the end of next week. We've been watching this area of orange and red just kind of creep its way southwestward here over the last few days because the cooler weather we're experiencing today and tomorrow, that's going to be coming to an end, and it's going to be warming up going through next week, and that's why we have the warmer than normal conditions in the forecast. So there's that nice drop. This is not a typo. I think to myself, did I get fat fingered here? That it was supposed to put 98? No, it's 88 degrees for the daytime high in Redding, and then temperatures start to increase. We're going to be hovering around 100 degrees come Sunday through Wednesday. And then look at that spike, 105 to even 107 for Thursday, Friday, and into Saturday of that next week. All right, so let's take a look at your lake levels, and no big surprises here, just those minor drops. We're still over 100% for that historical average. If you're heading out to the lake over the next few days or that holiday weekend, man, oh man, is it going to be gorgeous out there, and the lakes are nice and full. There you can see those wave heights are dropping here for today. They drop even more so by the time we go into your Friday. So the small craft advisory we did have the last few days, that's been allowed to expire. No advisories. Winds from the northwest at about 10 to 15 knots, and your waves from the north 5 feet at about 6 seconds. All right, so let's take a look at your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. 80s and 90s. Some of the cooler spots will be in the 70s, like High and Palm, and 74 degrees for Mad River. Yeah, we'll call it partly cloudy, but it should remain dry for most of you in Trinity County. If you see a passing sprinkle here and there this afternoon and evening, especially northern Trinity County, don't be surprised, but overall, it's going to be mainly dry. Temperatures will increase again once we get back into the weekend and early next week. North Coast, you're dry, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures there for the next 7 days will be in the low to mid 60s. We take you up north and take you out towards the inland areas. Look at that. By Friday, we're talking about 78 degrees for your 4th of July. Very nice, right? Temperatures in the 80s by Saturday, and then 90s return by Sunday into Monday. Siskiyou County, we've got that chance with thunderstorms today. Maybe again here for your Friday, right? Can't we just get rid of these thunderstorms, right? And then, of course, we're back to the 80s by Saturday, upper 80s to about 90 by Sunday into Monday. Here's your Modoc County neighborhood forecast. There it is again, yes. Chance for thunderstorms Thursday and Friday, but then we do see finally breaking away from those thunderstorms here over the weekend. And by the way, again, of course, those cooler temperatures for your 4th of July. Eastern Mountains, I've got the word chance in there, but I would say mainly north of Susanville. Susanville, most likely, you'll be dry today. I think it's going to be north of Susanville. Maybe Fall River Mills, eastward, looking at that potential. So really not a lot of highly populated areas will be impacted in that for northern Alaskan County. Your Valley neighborhood forecast, you can see to the south here about 92 degrees for Hamilton City, 92 for Elk Creek and Pasquenta, about 93. Your 7-day forecast for Chico, 87 degrees. Oh yeah, 87 degrees for your 4th of July, but then we're back in the 90s by the time we get into the weekend. 97 degrees for Redding, 98 degrees for Palo Cedro, 91 out in Lakehead. And there is Cottonwood with a high of about 95 degrees. And looking at your 7-day forecast for Redding, 88 degrees for your high on Friday, mid to upper 90s over the weekend, just kind of hovering around 100 degrees as we go into early next week. That's your morning update. Have yourselves a great morning.